In this video, I'm going to be replacing this old and outdated AM transmitter for my T-Maxx. It's going to get replaced with a Dumbo RC-X6 transmitter. For the steering on the T-Maxx, it's always been slow and underpowered, so that too is going to get replaced with an updated high torque servo with metal gears. My name is Greg, and this video is a continuation of the series on getting this old Traxxas T-Maxx up and running again. In previous videos, we've cleaned the engine, we've cleaned up the rest of the kit, we made sure that this old AM radio system worked well enough to test everything out. It's looking good. One of the things that I've noticed when I was running it was anytime that I clanked metal on the frame or next to the transmitter or the vehicle, the steering and throttle servos would twitch a little bit, and that's normal. That's what we get when we have this old outdated AM radio system. It does it now, and it did it 20 years ago. And those servos twitching really doesn't leave me feeling all that good when I've got a nitro-powered RC vehicle that does upwards of 45 miles per hour. So in this video, I'm going to be ditching the AM radio and moving up to some current technology. The reason why I chose the Dumbo RC-X6 is because, well, this is a budget rebuild and this fit the budget and the features. If you think that I should have chosen something else, let me know down below by leaving a comment. The other reason why I chose this radio system is because the receiver has a built-in gyro, which is going to help my T-Maxx stay jelly side up. Anybody that's ever owned a T-Maxx knows that the steering servo, it's slow and it's underpowered. So before I install the new radio gear, I want to do a speed and power test between the stock servo and this new updated one. To check this out, I'm going to be running two simple tests. The first one, I'm going to leave the T-Maxx on the table and see if the servo motor has enough power to turn the wheels. For the second test, I'm going to raise the front end of the truck up and check the speed going from full left to full right. If you'd like to know more about the transmitter, the receiver, or the steering servo that I'm using in today's video, I'll have links down below for you to check out. All right, back to the steering servo. The stock one is rated for 6 kilograms of force, while this aftermarket one is rated for 25, giving me nearly 4 times the force. Let's see if that makes any difference. Let's check out the stock servo. The wheels hardly move. Now for the speed test. I'll pull the adapter off the old stock servo and reinstall this on the new one. I'll use a screw that comes with the servo to put the horn back on. Let's check this out with the aftermarket servo. The wheels turn a lot better, but they're not quite turning all the way. Let's see what's going on. Here's a close-up of the servo. Looks like the servo is moving. It's the servo saver that is having a little bit of lost motion because the wheels are still on the table. Now let's check out the speed. That seems a little bit faster. Let's check it out side by side. The steering servo upgrade is a massive improvement, and now it's time to take a look inside the radio box at the stock radio receiver for the T-Maxx. This is an AM radio receiver. It worked okay back in the day, but let's take a look at the one from Dumbo RC. In comparison, the Dumbo RC, it's teeny tiny. This also has 6 channels, a built-in gyroscope, better range, and it uses less power, and just look at the size difference between the two. Installing the new receiver is going to be a breeze. I'm going to attach it inside the radio box and then remove the cables from the old receiver one by one, placing them in the new receiver. Now this doesn't have one designated for just the battery, so I'm going to be using channel number 6 to connect the battery pack to power up the receiver. And finally, the battery power. The other thing that I can do is cut down the plastic antenna whip for the new antenna. I'll get a rough idea of what that length will be and make the appropriate cut. A quick check that none of the cables are pinched, and I'm ready to move on to the next step. All right, we're in the home stretch now. I've already bound the radio to the receiver, and all that's left to do is to flip the back door open on the Dumbo RC transmitter and check for any servo reversing, trims, and endpoint adjustments. The receiver takes just a second or two for it to connect up to the transmitter, and we're all set. And I've got some movement already on the throttle and on the steering. I'm going to work on the throttle one first. Just a couple little tweaks and the throttle's all set. Next, it's time to check out the steering. Left and right look correct, and now I'll do the endpoint adjustment. For that, I'll turn the steering all the way to one side and now take that endpoint adjustment to the maximum travel limit. I think that's about it. That's going to be such an improvement. Today was a perfect day to film the upgrades on the T-Maxx. I woke up this morning, looked out the window, and there's snow on the ground. Yesterday, it was sunny and nearly 60 degrees. Turning our attention back to the T-Maxx though, I'm pretty happy with the progress on this. Everything's looking good, it's running good. I think the only thing I have left to do is to get a body, a new one on here that's going to do this some justice. Rewinding all the way back to the beginning of the video series, I bought a combo of 3 RC vehicles off of Facebook Marketplace. I chose to get this one running again, knowing that I'd most likely be pulling some of the radio gear out that I've got over here. This AM radio, it's still kind of usable, but now I do have a matching receiver and a couple of newer or workable servos. I also did buy a 2-pack of the steering servos for preparation for the next project, and let me show you what that is. Check this out. This was a part of that Facebook Marketplace, and somewhere in all of these pieces and parts and dirt and grime, there's hiding an HPI Savage. This is supposed to be the HPI 25, or at least that's what the engine says on the side. Join me for the next video series where I'll be putting Humpty Dumpty back together again to see if we can get it back in a running condition, just like I did with this T-Maxx. Thanks for joining me in this video, and join me in the next video series where I rebuild the HPI Savage. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe, or ring the notification bell. Not only is it a great way to help this channel grow, it's an excellent way to connect video content like this with other great RC enthusiasts just like yourself. Well, until we meet again in the next video, keep on rolling.